So today we're going to talk about how to use your own business domain and your own business email to send emails from using the Ultimate Custom Order Status app on Shopify. So you know how this app allows you basically to create custom statuses for your orders, like received, in production, completed. And yeah, basically at each step, we send emails out for you if you have it enabled, email notifications to let your customers know at which step they are. And yeah, in order to get a proper grasp of what's going on, you just want to go to settings down here. Okay. You go all the way down here to email sender address. Okay, so as soon as you install the app, we basically provide you with a email from us. Okay, no reply at ultimatecustomorderstatus.apps.msn.ca. And this is basically no setup required, right? So you install the app, you can get started sending right away. So you don't have any headaches and stuff like that. And that's good and all. It's just that once you start settling down, you most likely want to use your own business domain and your own business email to send these out instead, because you want to match your branding, right? Because this doesn't match your branding at all. Okay. So in order to get this set up, so first, this is you can't, it's a little bit technical, so it's a little bit of a pain, but we're doing this the proper way, right? Because that's how emails and stuff work. It takes a little bit of technical setup to get everything working, and yeah, and that's mostly because Gmail, Outlook, Microsoft, Google, they're very, very strict on spam emails, right? Because it's everywhere, so they're very strict at it. So you have to get everything set up exactly right, or else your email, your notification to your customer, it's never going to get into their inbox, right? It's gonna be marked as spam by the system automatically, and your user will never see it. So defeats the purpose of sending out emails. Okay. So once you're ready to get started, if you're not very technical, or you're not really sure how to set this up, we would recommend to find someone who's at least who knows a little bit how this works to set up for you, or you can contact us. Just know that we kind of need to have access to your domain name provider and all that stuff in order to get going. Okay. Now, once you're ready, you just go here and click your business domain. Okay. So you don't have to worry. Let's say you're still in the middle of setting things up. We're until the very last step, in that we're sure that everything's set up properly. We will still send out using the one we provide you with, the email that we provide you with. So you can take your time to get this set up. Usually it takes 2-3 days to get this set up properly. Okay. Okay, so first let's add our business domain. So this domain has to be a domain that you own, right? That you bought from your provider. Okay. You can't use the myshopify.com domain, because that's the domain that Shopify gives you, provides for you. In the meantime, you don't own it, so you can't use it. So usually we use the same domain that you already have email set up for, and basically the same domain that people visit your shop from, right? So yeah, so we're going to use an example domain that we own right now. So rollingcent.com. Okay. Add domain. All right, so we see it's added, and now we're ready for the second step. Okay. So the second step, that is the part where it's starts to get a little bit technical. Okay. So in order to get everything set up properly, we have to verify our domain. So to verify our domain, basically we have to set up 6 records here, okay? And they all go into this thing called the DNS records. So how do you get access to this? Usually it's in your domain name provider. So the place that sold you the domain usually have a place for you to manage this. So I don't know which one you use, but it could be like GoDaddy.com or something like that. Okay, and inside there they have a DNS server, DNS record server, and this place basically tells the internet all kinds of information about your domain, and the internet relies on these DNS records to know what to do when certain things happen, or like how do we find the place that's hosting your shop, right? Like this is where they look up basically, and because like basically you have to kind of log into your your domain name provider. It's a secure way of telling people what's happening on the domain, right? Okay, so the first kind of record we have to add is DKIM. So we have 3 of them here. So DKIM, basically what this is that once you add these into your DNS record server, this basically tells Google, Gmail, Outlook, Microsoft, like once they get an email from us that we are sending on your behalf, they basically sign these emails basically. Okay, it's like when you're about to write a check to someone, you have to sign like a signature on it before you send it out, so that like they know it's from you. So this is the same kind of concept that's going on. Once you add these in, this means that the emails that have the same kind of signature, which are sent from us on your behalf, well, they're gonna be recognized as legit, and they won't go to spam. Okay. The mail from record. After that, we have to add. So this basically tells people where when we send an email to your domain, where does it go, right? And yeah, so and then the other record we have to add is SPF. This is another kind of security feature. It's kind of like DKIM, but like what this does is that it tells the people who receive your emails from where are we allowed to send emails from, and this is the place that we allow. And the final one is DMARC. So this is basically it's a policy kind of record. So it tells everyone on the internet what happens when they receive an email that's not from your domain, that's marked as spam or something like that. What do we do with them? And this tells everyone what to do with them. Okay. So let's get started on this. So let's add these. I'm going to go into my domain name provider right here. Okay. So the first record we have to add here is CNAME, DKIM CNAME. So I'm gonna look for CNAME right here. Add a CNAME record. So the name, host right here, or host name. Everyone has their own name for this, so kind of have to match it back up a little bit. Value, target. Okay. So in our case, it's alias2. And then TTL here, you could leave it to default or 30 seconds. This is just how fast you want to propagate this out to everyone, basically. but even if you send this out in 30 seconds to everyone, that doesn't mean that like the internet itself will start recognizing this change. Usually for the whole internet to kind of recognize that, okay, this new record has just been added, it takes like a day or two. Okay. All right, so save. Let's add the second one. Host name, target, 30 seconds. And then third one. So make sure to use the clipboard icon here to copy, okay? Don't copy it like that, because when you do this, a lot of times what happens is like there's actually an extra hidden space in the end or in the beginning, and it could completely like it could destroy the record. Like you're not gonna be getting the same information in. Okay. Okay, so 3 of them done. Now we're at MX record. Okay, so we're gonna look for MX right here. So the name host here is a little bit misleading here. So the host, our name host would be our subdomain here, and value or target would be the mail server. So we're telling them that basically this subdomain sends, this is where the mail server is. Okay. And then they said like priority here is 10, or preference, same thing. Okay. We're going for SPF. It's a text record. Okay. Alright, so that's done. Now finally we have demarc. So we already have a demarc policy in our case for this one, so we're not gonna add this one. Okay. And so yeah, so once we've added all the records, so basically the system needs to check and validate that all the records are actually there. So you can, once you've added them, you just hit run domain verification here. Okay. So you see, basically this checks and tells you exactly what's missing. Okay, so all these are already recognized. We only have this last one, the SPF here, and there's also a few system checks that also run, and these also need to be okayed. Okay, so once this all okays out, the system will approve everything. Okay, and then this will be marked as complete, and then you're gonna be able to add your email here. Okay, and this email would be like no reply at rollingcent.com or hello at rollingcent.com with whatever email that you're already using. Okay, and then here it'll mark basically that the same, the email that you're, and then it's gonna say active, and then you're gonna be all set up once you see everything like that. Okay, once you're done, you can hit save. You can always come back to this, like, because you need to come back like a day or two later to run the verifications again to see like, yeah, if it actually passed or not. Okay, and yeah, so that's about it. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Thank you for your time.